However, I'm Rob Smith and Smith of the Black, and so we're coming into a new week. The SPY is trying to go inside month and up, and we've been talking about this for months and months and months. How do you take that out? How do you take that out? Because we got this broadening formation. You do have that inside month and up. It's early in the month, so we'll see how that goes. Because you come into the daily, and Friday backs off, 2-2 reversal. So it might take some time. Once again, really want to challenge that or challenge that. We don't have it. If you go to QQQ here, once again, take it out 4 months of highs. That's good. Slight higher high, slight lower low. Are you going to be strong enough to take that out? And so once again, these dailies are challenging us coming in on the opening day of the week. Here, are we going to be able to go 2 up? Are we going to set up the 2-2 on a Tuesday? What are we going to do? So if we go to Apple here, and nice day, when I go the month here, 2-2 monthly reversal, right? But man, look at these months and months and months of sideways. So you'll always want to be aware of that. Are we really trending? What are we doing? What you do have is that lower low, and then coming into the higher high, but don't know. We're gonna have to play it as we see it. If you go to small cappers, and that's why I pulled back in a lot of vids. I'm like, a lot of things have been day to day. There's not, with all these sideways months for 9-10 months, I'm like, I don't know, day to day, so we let them play out. So small cappers here on the weekly up, monthly, taking these months out, but look at this. Look at all these months that have been sideways, all right? And that's important to know. We want something that's really moving. We don't have it, but we're new in the month. We'll see how that goes. If we go to Dow Jones Diamonds, and you'll remember last year at the end of the year, here, they were the outperformers, and everybody's like, oh, it's diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. Okay, well, now, inside month, how do you get outside of this? Higher high, lower low, and you go to the weekly, could be a rev strat to the downside, if they're going to try and take these things back down. So we look at something like Boeing here that had 4 weeks of sideways, tried to take the highs, and now shooter, if they don't take these out. The bad thing about that is we don't have that much magnitude. Take these guys out, then I don't know. But that's what the tight ranges are. If we go to the small capper, or I'm sorry, if we go to transports, okay, nice week like a lot of things. Monthly, trying to get out of 4 or 5 months out of this. Can you take that out? I don't know. And that's pretty much what we're looking at. Inside day, if anything, you've got UPS here, and we know they've had all these wacky ticks here. Inside day, in the monthly, 2-2 monthly, can we take all this stuff out? Because we watched that with FedEx. And we've been watching this monthly forever. Can FedEx really start to come back through all this kind of stuff? Inside day for FedEx, we'll see. Not doing too much, but car, always paying attention to the inside month and up. We'll see how that goes. If you go to XLU, because if the market comes in, we always want to see if they rotate into defensive names. But man, look at this. Months and months and months and months inside here. That sucks. So, it's a lot of chop shop, and that tells us to look at XLP. But it can give us indications during the day on what we want to do. XLP weekly would be rev strat day to the down, or week to the downside. But still, if you look at the monthly, here, still stuck in months and months and months right in the middle, so don't know. If you go to Hershey's, so what you're going to see is a lot of things that I talk about that we're going to be doing day to day. I'm like, we don't know. What Hershey's is a 2-2 reversal on the month, so we can pay attention to that. Had a nice weaker here, 3-2 weaker. How far it's going to go? 3, 1, 2, get. If we go to the financials, FAS, still don't know. 4 months of sideways, all this kind of sideways. So we really prefer to have things start to go, because when you have all this sideways, a lot of people get used to things not moving, which is true at this point. But once they start moving, we know what to do. If you go to XLF, Here, still, look at these months. This is awful, and why I pulled back on a lot of vids. You do have Bank of America, and we always want to pay attention. Do we have signals? Bank of America is a 212 on the monthly, so if they firm up, you look at there. I know it's going to be very liquid and it's going to be boring, but that's what we got to do. XLE was our boy last year, to the upside anymore. So XLE starting to back off. 4 months of sideways up in here. If you go to the weekly, here we had a lot of nice 2-2 reversals to the downside there in the weekly. But if that's going to confirm, I don't know. You got Chevron here, took that nice 2-2. Exxon. Now, do they continue to go? Don't know. Exxon had those wild ticks on the New York Stock Exchange opening that they try to get rid of, but they are still there. Conoco here was a nice 2-2. And the thing about it is we want to watch how many things take out the monthlies to the highs or monthlies to the lows. And right now you got a 2-2 down in Conoco. So we can keep an eye on that if the energy continues to weak. We can, FANG. FANG Energy still handling inside months. You just got to start off the day with a Momo shooter inside day to see if all that kind of stuff fails. If we go to gold, giving it up and had that outside year last year, and now potential 3 on the month there. So we can watch the gold shares to the downside. If that continues, if we go to XLK, we know that's going to be your Apple and your Microsoft. Trying to come through all this stuff, but man, I mean, this is so much sideways stuff that they really got to start gunning here, and we're not getting it. So if you get a Microsoft, what you do have is a 2-2 reversal on the month, right? We also have 6 months of sideways, but you are a 2-2 reversal. Eventually that'll change. Eventually these things continue to go. We just don't have that as yet. If we go to MetaBuddy, and MetaBuddy had good earnings or whatever guidance, and the gap's up on the day here and holds. But we've known about this, on the downside here. So a lot of times what you'll see is that you do get those 2-2 reversals like you did here, and they do nothing and then accelerate, right? But if you got in somewhere down in here, and people always ask me, like, do we stay on the same time frames that we got in on? I'm like, well, it depends on how long you want to stay in this thing, but no lower lows on the month, right? As we know, it's been a lot higher. So MetaBuddy's still trying to work, but trying to hold that gap. If we go to Amazon, okay, Amazon month coming right back in. Weekly, 3-2-2 shooter if they want to take this thing. If they start bringing these things in, that would get my attention, because the daily was gap up, 2-2 reversal. So if we can go after this stuff, if things start to weaken over here, there's your 3-2-2 here below 99.01. If we go to Netflix, Netflix still trying to walk its way up, right? So we don't have anything disastrous there just yet. We'll watch this daily. Like that might be a 3-dayer. Tried to go up and all that kind of stuff, but as you've seen day after day, that we're just going minute by minute and be like, excuse me, let them open. We'll go after them. If we go to Google, so the Goog, once again, gaps up, comes in, and still in the month, all right, here, trying to get out of these, excuse me, but you got 5 months of this sideways, and then you get to slight higher high, excuse me, if they want to triangle it back down. So we'll see, starting off the week, daily, here. So still not sure. If we go to NVIDIA, here, inside day, still trying to work its way back up on the monthly here, but it's a 2 up. You can see this lower low, higher high, so potential broadening formation. Just going to make sure it keeps going. Otherwise, it triangles them out. But you got some distance if that's going to 2-2 weak to the downside, and we'll watch that, of course, with SMH and all their buddies. SMH nowhere near a reversal on the weekly, but like I said, we're starting off a new month. If we're going to back off, it'll tell us, and if not, doesn't do it. If we go to AI, and AI, one of those used to be somebody's. I mean, so it's starting to perk up. So we always want to keep an eye on these kind of things that are coming back off of all this stuff. I mean, this thing's way off the highs. So if things are really coming back, and you got some good volatility in there to trade, and we know how to do that. So keep an eye on AI. If we go to CrowdStrike, okay, 2-2 hammer reversal on the monthly, right? So long as it's above 109, and that tells us, Palo Altos and all the kind of cyber stuff. Palo Alto's trying to go 2-2, but just kind of sitting there. Man, all these months sideways. FTNT also trying to go after the month. Oh man, these sideways are just killing us. But it is what it is. Eventually they will break out. You got an inside week there, FTNT. Roku finally makes a higher high on the month. Here's your lower level weekly try. How do you get out of this? But it finally makes a higher high in the month, and it hasn't done that in a long time. So it doesn't mean, you get these guys who draw these downtrend lines and be like, oh, now it's in an uptrend. I'm like, nah, well, we'll see about that. But it is making inside month to the upside, so we'll see how that goes. A couple other things, DraftKings. Here is an inside month to the upside. You got the Super Bowl coming up. You got EA here, inside month to the downside, and if you go to the gap, it's holding its gap lower. All right, so far as we know, it's holding its gap lower, so still in trouble. And if we go to China, JD here, triangle the out and triangle the out, and potentially, if China starts to crap out, you do have your shooter month. You've got PDD going inside in the week, but man, a lot of tight ranges, man. That's why I'm like, let them open. You've heard me be on the headset and be like, let them open. Let that first hour open. But you do have an inside week PDD. QLYS. RevStrat Monther here. 1, 2, 2. So you can keep an eye on that. Triangle all these guys out. Might be good. And if you go to Tesla's. Tesla's is a 2-2 reversal month here, above 180.68. All right, so you want to keep an eye on that, and we know there's always going to be news and Musk and all that kind of stuff. So still brand new month, so we're going to let them open. That's what I say, and then we'll see how this stuff kicks in. What we want is long red and green bars. Don't have them, but we do have like initial signals kicking in, and then we just maintain them, see what's going on, and that's what I'm going to do. All right, that's good for that. I'm Rob Smith, Smith the Black with the Weekend Vid.